10:01. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft kicks off tomorrow in Pittsburgh with the first round as there continues to be noise around some trade movement on the back end. Seahawks GM John Schneider telling reporters he would like to trade back from 32 to acquire more picks. The Titans hold the number 4 overall pick on Thursday. NBA playoffs Tuesday. The Lakers won over the Rockets to take a 2-0 series lead. The Sixers tied the series at 1 apiece with the Celtics, and the Trailblazers evened the series at 1 with the Spurs, who lost star Victor Wembanyama to a concussion in the second quarter. In the NHL, the Lightning tied up the series with the Canadiens with an OT win in Game 2. Boston tied it up with Buffalo. Utah evened the series with a win over Vegas, and the Avalanche took a 2-0 series lead over the Kings with an OT win. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
One day to go, and then draft day will be upon us. Happy Wednesday. Hope your morning is off to a great start. Robert, Lucas, me with you until 1 o'clock, as is the custom. I've got the announcement for the Install's special guest today, and we will do that at 12:20. We have a lot of other things to get to throughout the course of today's show. We got SEC news. We've got a number of different things to address. Do we have a prize for the dumbest thing in sports this week?
We do. Weezer tickets.
Weezer. Where are all these great concerts and prizes coming from lately? The nebulous prize bucket has been on its game.
The summer concert series does not miss.
Where's Weezer? Where's Weezer playing?
Bridgestone, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
That sounds about right.
Gotta be.
But since it's Robert's last day on the show this week, I wish. No, unfortunately, I will not get my wish. No, he has a big draft getaway that he does with a bunch of buddies. It's 7 other people?
Yeah, in Sedona. Yeah, we're going to have a great time. I'm really excited.
Oh, what's the resort?
I don't remember what it was called.
The Ambiente.
It's called the Ambiente,
yes.
As in like ambiance.
I believe that is correct.
Biante.
If you are, yeah. I mean, did you see the backdrop?
It's beautiful. I just didn't see the other people. That
Again, it is the most romantic thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
I can't wait to take. I wish you guys were there so we could take show pictures together. We should do that.
Have we ever done show pictures?
Not really.
Should we do like awkward family photos as show pictures?
We have never done like formal,
like go to Kohl's,
anything like that.
We should go to Kohl's.
Is there a reason? I assume the station is not like greenlit those things because I feel like I remember Kayla and Ramon and Will doing this lovely photo shoot on rooftops in Nashville. Not for us.
No photo shoot for us.
Not for us, right? They're like, we may fire these guys in a couple of weeks. Maybe
we save on the pics.
Maybe we hold off on the pictures. I honest to God, I would pay for it if we went and did like an awkward family photo shoot. I feel like the station would hate it, but that would delight me.
Oh, if we were all dressed like The Rock from that one picture, like black turtlenecks, chains, fanny packs, blue jeans.
We have like a picture of you laying flat on the ground with your chin perched on your wrists there, with your feet kicked up behind you, and Lucas sitting on your kicked up feet. I feel like that would be
like a Tempur-Pedic laying on top of you.
We could do
like some maybe the Titanic type of deal.
Oh, you're here. That would be good.
A Step Brothers poster reenactment. We could do it all. But since it is Robert's last day on the show this week, again, I wish, because he's got his draft getaway on Thursday and Friday with a bunch of his buddies it's quite the opposite of Sedona, right? And the Ambiente, it's New Jersey.
yeah. But it's going to be awesome, though. My buddy that we're staying with has like a huge Italian family. His mom makes, like, last time we were there for his wedding, homemade cannolis, stuffed peppers, like the prosciutto, everything that you can imagine about New Jersey Italians. She brought that in spades. Like, imagine like a Goodfellas table, where like the spaghetti is like piling out of the bowl and there's meatballs and all kind of stuff. That is what I'm going to be fat as a tick by the time Friday rolls around.
I told the two of you I watched Casino for the first time this week, and it was excellent. It's one of the few 3-hour movies that I'd sit through. Anyway.
Yeah, all-timer. Martin Scorsese, good at 3-hour movies.
Yes, very, very good at 3-hour movies. Anyway, since it's Robert's last day on the show.
Ever.
I need Lucas to say one thing, his favorite thing about the draft, because he will not be here for you to say that to him tomorrow and Friday, and you cannot say when it's over.
This feels like when your grandparents are leaving and you're like, I don't want to say goodbye. It's like, say goodbye to them and tell them you love them.
Yes, correct. That's what we have to do for Lucas because he's kind of shirked his way through his deal with Robert. Robert entered the March Madness pool. If Lucas would pretend at least to act like he cared about the NFL draft, feels very lopsided, this transaction lately.
Okay, see, now this is something that is purely a narrative that has been formed by you two, because at no point have I hated the draft.
He literally said to the both of us at the Combine on separate occasions, I have no juice for this draft. He said that.
I was making a statement about the top-end talent, or maybe lack thereof about the draft.
Don't you
which
gaslight
many
me.
high-profile draft experts have agreed with, by the way.
Don't you gaslight
now,
me.
do I have some level of fatigue? Yes, every year when we get to a few weeks out, I have some fatigue about the draft process, and I'm just ready for it to get here like any reasonable human being. But, of course, we live in a world of hyperbole and extremes where just the slightest little tinge of, okay, I'm ready to just find out who's going where, means I hate the draft. And if I have to bear that cross, I'll do it for you. But just know I'm not happy about it because it's not true.
Did you just Chrissy Freud make yourself a martyr for people who are tired of draft coverage?
Sometimes you have to martyr yourself.
Martyr. I love she used it as a verb, too. I mean, you had to martyr yourself.
I could not be happier that idiot got fired. That delighted me over the course of the last week. But did you just make yourself a draft coverage martyr? Because that or you're like a politician giving your platform. There are many people saying many things about my beliefs. I'm here to tell you they're erroneous. Where do you get off?
I'm just saying, am I alone in this? No, I'm not. But my favorite thing about the draft is the hope.
It's almost here.
Is the
hope. You can't do that.
See, now I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to, and you're the one that's tying the concrete blocks around my ankles.
I just feel like you're going to be like the old men in the Muppets and be like, you know what my favorite part of the show was? The end. Like you're just about to Google me into this.
The best thing about the draft is the hope. The hope. It reigns eternal for every team because every team, every fan base finds a way to get excited about their draft haul. It's unanimous. Now, there are the grumpies out there that just can't be made happy and are impossible to please, that will just hate the draft haul, whether they're an Arizona fan or a Pittsburgh fan or a Titans fan. But for the most part, I think the hope coming away from the draft that you get by looking at your draft haul and the way it looks better to you every day is my favorite thing about the draft.
I feel like you could take that entire speech and put it over like one of those Instagram montages of like horses running through fields and like
the
waves,
Bud Light commercial,
waves crashing on the beach.
Robert and I, the entire time you're talking, he and I are talking to each other saying, do you believe a single word that he's saying?
You would be a terrible politician. There might be grumpies out there who don't agree with our way of life. You don't have to succumb to that negative pressure of the grumpies.
I can't win here. I cannot win here. The hope is the best thing about the NFL draft.
Okay. Robert, what's your favorite thing about the draft?
Oh, that it's almost here.
I know.
God, that it's on our doorstep. I feel like Christmas. Like, can we just open one present? Can we please open one present? And like, okay. And you open it, it's Fernando Mendoza. Can we open one more? I don't want to wait that long. Please. Please. I just want to open one more.
For me, because did you say or see your boy McShay come out and say that he felt like he got used?
I did see that, yeah.
Over the course of the last couple of days? We should probably talk about that at some point in time, given that most people have been screaming and yelling about smokescreen and lying season, and here is Todd McShay before all of football fans and football gods saying, yeah, I think I got used as far as the dissemination of information. But my favorite thing about the draft, especially this year, because how many different players at any point in this process have been mocked to the Titans? How many different names have been mocked to the Titans, different positions?
Bain, Bailey, Reese, Styles,
That'd be
Love,
6 or 7.
Tate.
Oh.
The fact that he missed the opportunity to do that at the hospital yesterday.
I slipped up.
Oh, and Landon hit us with the smooth. He stopped. We're walking out of the room.
Yeah.
6'7". And then he had us rolling.
He drilled it. It was awesome.
Delighted in it. We did go to see Landon, the Titans super fan, yesterday. He's been in at the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital here for a couple of weeks, him and his mom, Ashley, and it was Lucas did a really good job to set it up and make sure that we all could go see him, and it was a great time. We got to meet Princess Tiana from, I haven't seen the Princess and the Frog, but apparently that's one of the newer Disney movies.
Yeah, I was a little upset that Landon would not let me ask her if she had found her frog yet, but it wasn't about me. Also, he would not let me try to get his nurses to persuade the nurses to bring us pudding cups. He was upset at me.
I think we were all upset at you. The idea that you were using Landon to try and pick up nurses.
Not pick them up. Not pick them up. Is it my fault? Is it my fault that every nurse over there is stunningly attractive? That's not my fault.
Yes,
that's not my fault.
And that will be the last time that we are allowed at the Children's Hospital.
No.
The amount of times Landon said, "What is wrong with you?" to Robert.
It's completely fair.
I was like, "Can I get 2 hits of whatever he has? Like, just put me up to the IV."
What you got on that drip, boy?
Yeah, come on. Let me get a little bit of that drip, Landon.
My point is, there have been 6 or 7 players mocked to the Tennessee Titans. I like that it's the day before, and we have no idea what the hell is going to happen tomorrow.
It's fun.
I've been waiting for that for 4 years.
When's the last time that was the case?
Oh, God, here? I couldn't tell you, because it feels like, all right, they're going to take another damn offensive lineman, and then finally the quarterback thing, where it's still, we all knew, all right, they're just going to take the best quarterback, and by combine, we understood that was going to be Cam. So still, it was months and months of, okay, how do we talk about this quarterback again and again and again and find different angles on it? No, I love the idea that this is as wide open of a draft, who could they take, as they've had since
Burks?
Before that.
Caleb?
Because they traded, the AJ stuff was kind of swirling.
Even though right before it was like, we're not trading him, no way, no how.
That blindsided people.
Well, no, there was conversation, because the fact that Mike Vrabel was even being asked on Rich Eisen in that situation and gave the line.
What was his answer?
Not as long as I'm the head coach.
Yes. So Titans fans were blindsided by the AJ trade on draft night.
Sure, but there was at least, like, it didn't, while it did surprise you that they would actually do it, there was discourse leading up that AJ was unhappy, that he had deleted the Tennessee out of his bio, right? The early laying the groundwork.
Yeah, they hadn't gotten a deal done.
They hadn't gotten a deal done. So there it was at least the possibility, even though you are correct, it blindsided people. Burks, as a result of that, was like, okay, now they have to just take the wide receiver.
Who are we talking about in that draft?
Leading up?
Yeah, like who were the main...
That was my first week at the station.
What a wild
after the
week.
draft.
Can you give me the top of that draft in 2022? Because that would have been a terrible quarterback draft, right? That's Pickett and Ritter and Malik. Trayvon Walker. Is Trayvon Walker that number 1 pick?
Yeah, that's Walker, Hutchinson, Stingley at 3, Sauce at 4.
Some of the players around Traylon Burks at 18 were Kyle Hamilton, Kenyon Green, Jahan Dotson, Zion Johnson, Trevor Penning.
Because they were originally slated to pick at 8. Never mind. Yeah. I'm misremembering.
But, I don't remember who people were mostly mocking to the Titans in the 2022 draft. I honestly don't.
No, I really do think, Lucas, that there was enough AJ noise around it that AJ kind of took up a lot of the oxygen around the draft coverage, because it wasn't an obvious thing. Okay, the Titans need this, right? They were still teetering on competitive and living off
They're just coming off the 1 seed.
the remains. Yeah, but they were coming off the remains of that 19 John Robinson draft, so they hadn't cratered yet. 22 was the cratering.
The odds for them when the original pick was 26 was that they would take Tyler Smith. He had a 23% consensus mock.
So again, an offensive lineman. And that's so 21 would have been, who was the first round draft pick in 21? Farley and, okay, Isaiah before that. And Farley made sense because they had moved on from Logan Ryan. They'd moved on from Malcolm Butler. The secondary was starting to fall apart. And Farley, I don't remember how many different types of players. I might say 21 then. Because Farley made sense, but I don't remember like a ton of Titans connections to Farley leading up to that. But, you these things, as years go by, you forget just what the dialogue is. It's just felt more visceral, more obvious these last 4 years, basically, because they've just been having to draft the same positions over and over and over again. So my favorite thing about the draft is what we're getting this year, is the unknown, that it's still going to be a surprise. It's going to be engaging, compelling at the number 4 pick. Hell, number 2, we think that New York is going to go best available edge rusher. That may happen, and 3 is still wide open. So even at 3, we're talking about the possibility of trades. And even last year with Travis Hunter and how that all happened right as Cam Ward was being selected. I know Titans fans were understandably annoyed by the idea that took some level of coverage away from Cam Ward, but that was still interesting, right? Especially because here in Tennessee, all right, now you get to see Travis Hunter twice a year.
Carver Willis, draft prospect or fake name?
Fake.
That's a real name.
Ooh. That you were that confident about it scares me.
Who is it?
I think he's a tackle.
From where?
Oh, I don't know. Washington State.
Guard from Washington.
I knew.
That's disgusting.
Like, that
Even
is,
that you got that close.
Yeah, that is a fringe. Like, that dude may not get drafted. That's crazy.
You're
Bert.
gross.
When you look at enough big boards and you look
crazy,
at enough,
man.
okay, the Ravens have 4 fifth-round picks, and they're going to look for value there, so who could they take in the 7th, and that would make it an off. Hey, when you look through all of that stuff, there are no coincidences.
That's crazy.
In our business.
That just makes me want to smack you even more for leaving for Friday and Thursday of the draft.
It's like the Avatar. When the world needed him most, he vanished.
Aiden Curry, draft prospect or fake person?
Oh. I know there's an Aiden that's a linebacker out of Indiana, but I can't remember his last name. I'm going to say that's a real player, but I think Curry is what's messing me up. I'm thinking about the Wake Forest pass rusher. I'll still say real name, though. Aiden Fisher is the linebacker out of Indiana.
I just Googled it. You're spot on. Aiden Fisher is the linebacker from Indiana, but this is Aiden Curry.
There is no Aiden Curry.
Okay.
But that's...
The last name messed me up.
I don't like this game.
I combined Aiden Fisher with Caden Curry, the edge out of Ohio State.
Oh, short arms, too. To go look at Caden Curry. You think Reuben Baines got short arms? That guy may have the shortest arms ever as an NFL draft prospect.
Draft Nuggies next. If your energy's off, if things aren't working like they used to, you're not alone. Happens to a lot of guys as you get up there in age, as your body starts to change. And the Tennessee Men's Clinic, powered by Men's Pro, is here to help you. They've been doing this for years, which is what you'll love about them. They are not just the newest fly-by-night place or sketchy online pill that's trying to grab your attention with social media ads. You're working with true medical providers. They run labs, build a plan around you specifically, not some one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter type of deal. They treat low performance, ED, weight loss, and even peptides like NAD+. Their treatments have worked for thousands of men, and most guys say they wish they had come in sooner. Right now, your lab panel and consultation are just $99. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. The best hot chicken in the world. The degree of difficulty that Robert Walsh just pulled that off with because I was yelling at him in his ear as he was trying to do that. Well done.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. 615-737-1045. Speaking of the draft and the celebrations around the draft, no better way to celebrate your draft night if you're having a draft party, as so many people like Robert Walsh do, with a bucket of Hattie B's chicken. It's basically a sporting event, so why not treat it with one, or treat it like one with the best hot chicken around?
Is there a Hattie B's in New Jersey?
No, I believe we have. I believe that's the last vestiges of Civil War discourse. The Hattie B's does not go north of the Mason-Dixon line.
How do I get Hattie B's to our draft party? Can you bring food through airport security?
Yes. You've not seen people that will bring their own meals on the airplanes?
So what is the distinction that I would have to do that with? Like, go get Hattie B's today and then put it on ice and then carry it in an ice pack?
Didn't you take Hattie B's to like some kind of event or family function? Something like that. I thought there was a situation where you no, you did. Didn't you take Hattie B's to your dad at home?
Yeah, but that was me driving. I just put it in the cooler.
I guess you could just count the bucket as your carry-on.
No, can't do that.
Okay.
Can't do that. Have too many carry-on.
Can you put the bucket in your carry-on?
I would probably take it out of the bucket, fold the bucket up, keep it for ambiance, and then take them out, throw them in an air fryer, and then add them back to the bucket for the feng shui of the whole thing.
Your buddy Jay says just have a whole checked bag full of Hattie B's wings.
God, that's a great idea.
Sounds good.
It smells delightful going through security.
Oh, I think the biggest problem would be me getting through the flight because it's my carry-on. Like, sitting there knowing that I have delicious Hattie B's in my carry-on.
Reaching down below your seat and watching the person next to you see you pull out a wing and just
It's like, sir, why have you eaten all the gristle off of those bones?
Anyway, Hattie B's does not have nuggies, but we do. What do you got?
So, where to begin here? Because Dan Graziano covers a lot of ground. He starts off with how the Jets will approach the number 2 pick. He says everything he's been told since the latter part of last week leads him to believe the Jets will select Arvell Reese with the second pick in the draft. He says for the longest time it has felt as though the Jets were deciding between Reese and David Bailey. He says he recognizes some analysts have predicted Bailey there. And obviously, the planned visit to the Jets for David Bailey got canceled last week. Now, that could mean one of two things, right? We've talked about it, that the New York Jets have seen enough on David Bailey. They don't even need to sit down with him. They like the player enough. Or they've seen enough. They know they're not going to draft him. Jets GM earlier this week said to not read into the canceling of that visit whatsoever. So how do we read into that? Because, of course, we're going to read into it in one way or another. Do we think it's more likely that the Jets have seen what they like, they're good to go on Bailey, and they're going to take him, don't even need to spend more time with him? Or do we see it as would be a waste of time because they're going to draft Arvell Reese?
By percentage chance, it feels like it's more likely. I don't think you have to have the information to say it's more likely that they just don't need to visit with him because they have a needed edge. So if they end up taking either of these edge guys, it's because they have the most glaring need at that specific position. You got a defensive-minded head coach in Aaron Glenn, and if they were to take David Bailey, you would say that would make sense. If they were to take Arvell Reese, you would say that would make sense. So I think by percentage chance, it's more likely that they just don't have to meet with him and gleaned enough information through the process.
And as I
or do you guys disagree with that? Because that's the way that I read it.
I was trying to get your opinion on how you view 30 visits. Because as I understand it, 30 visits are not to show the prospects that you're enamored with. 30 visits are to answer questions that you have about prospects. Like, why did you guys run this way? What did you call this? What did they have more questions about a prospect that they would like answered than it is to show, oh, we really like this guy. We just want to hang out with him. We just want to have a beer with this guy on a 30 visit. Like
the best use of your 30 visit is to spend additional time with a guy that you did not have, 1, enough information on, 2, enough time with, 3, as you mentioned, follow-up questions about. That's your most in-depth opportunity to deal with the player in your building before you decide whether or not to bring that player into your building. If you feel comfortable enough with them. You see teams draft guys that don't take 30 visits to them all the time, every year. So that's my position on it. They could still end up taking Arvell Reese, and I would say that the higher percentage chance was that they just didn't need to meet with David Bailey because they knew enough.
So, Graziano quickly moves on to picks 3 and 4, Cardinals and Titans. He says it is widely known around the league the Cardinals would prefer to trade down from that number 3 spot. He says if the Jets take Reese and there's a team out there like the Chiefs at 9 that want to make a big move up for David Bailey, a deal could come together that nets Arizona extra picks. He says if there's a team out there that wants to come up to number 3 for Jeremiah Love, the Cardinals would listen. Now, that's an interesting thing. The idea of the Kansas City Chiefs wanting to move up for an edge rusher. Could there be a scenario out there where the Arizona Cardinals just say, no, we love Jeremiah Love, and they stick and pick Love, and the Titans suddenly are the best option for the Chiefs to trade up for the best available edge rusher? But in that scenario, would the Titans be the ones to want to draft that edge rusher? Also, Arizona drafting Jeremiah Love feels like, as Graziano points out, would be a weird pick for a team that already has $11 million in cap space committed to a running back room, including James Conner, Tyler Algier, who they just signed, Trey Benson, Bam Knight are the depth pieces there. But as he mentions, there's a widely held belief around the NFL that Love is the best player and he's going to be tempting for teams picking high. So Arizona at 3 obviously will be a domino for the Titans at 4 in a few different ways. Now, Graziano mentions on the back end here that he has been told the Titans would like to trade down from 4, but if they can't, the pick is likely to be an edge rusher or receiver. So if Bailey is still on the board at 4, he'd be a strong candidate to go to Tennessee. If not, I expect the Titans to either trade down or take whichever wideout, Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, they have ranked the highest. Now, what he doesn't mention is if Love is off the board, right?
So let's do what you just did there with a different kind of a hypothetical. What is more likely in this situation? That the Titans have been for months head over heels for Jeremiah Love, and that they have him as the best player available on their board, and that they would take him if he's just sitting there at 4, or that they've let this speculation run wild, trying to get somebody to come up, thinking that they're going to take Jeremiah Love at 4. And if you want anything to do with the Jeremiah Love discussion, you got to talk to us about getting up to 4 to get him. Because that would be the long game play if we're putting on our tinfoil conspiracy theory caps. Which do you think is more likely in that situation? Because both, I think, are almost equally likely.
Yeah, they're both firmly on the table.
And Mike Borgonzi is saying at his press conference, yeah, it's the game within the game. And he kind of chuckles and smirks a little bit at the press conference last week. I guess that was last Thursday. I think it was PK that asked him to follow up on, do you engage? It's like, yeah, I mean, you have to. That's a part of our business.
Yeah, I think that's why this draft is exciting for Titans fans. Because even if Jeremiah Love is off the board at 4, you could end up with, by many opinions, the best edge rusher in this draft. There's a lot of people that believe David Bailey is the best edge rusher in this draft. You could end up with the best wide receiver in this draft. You can still end up with a top-tier player in the context of this draft, even if the running back that so many Titans fans have fallen in love with is off the board at 3, whether that's to Arizona or a team that trades up to 3 with Arizona. So there's almost this tinge of can't mess it up with the number 4 overall pick. Now, that is, again, with the context of what we believe of these prospects, not knowing what their NFL career will actually look like moving forward. A few other things. He asks if the Rams could be a wild card. They hold the number 13 pick, and they traded. That number 13 pick is a result of last year's trade with Atlanta. They traded their own first-rounder, 29, to the Chiefs for Trent McDuffie. So the Rams only pick in the top 60 is the number 13 overall pick. They have not made a pick that high since when, guys?
The Rams?
That high since, like, higher than 13?
13 or higher.
Jared Goff?
Yeah, Goff.
2016. Yes.
Yeah.
Pre-Sean McVay, Jeff Fisher, obviously the head coach of the Rams. So
it's been a while. Les Snead wasn't the GM with Fisher then, was he? I know Les Snead has been there for a long time. I don't know if they brought McVay and Snead in together.
He was the GM.
Snead was there. How long has Les Snead been doing that job?
He was the GM from the very beginning of the Fisher era in L.A.
God, he changed his name to More Snead.
That's pretty. I mean, that's actually quietly. That's 14 years. It's a long run.
You better have a better joke today than that. That might have been the worst joke of More Snead.
Something you would never hear Titans fans say.
I mean, he's got a. When did John Schneider take over?
So mad at you.
In Seattle.
Ooh.
I love Lucas trying to do the job.
I know, we're just screwing around him.
2010. John Schneider surely is he the longest tenured active GM? Not including Jerry. I mean, Jerry's kind of his own thing.
I would say that's accurate.
When Howie? How long's Howie been there?
Howie has survived multiple coaching staffs, right? Because he was there with Chip Kelly. He was sent away under Chip Kelly.
But his first year as GM was 2010.
Howie.
Yeah, which is the same as Schneider. But anyway, Les Snead, been around. So
I can't think
Loomis?
of any. Mickey Loomis would be the answer. Mickey Loomis has been there since the dawn of time.
Yeah, they just refuse to fire that guy.
He's in the will.
Literally.
He's in the will.
But no, he's only been the GM since 2013.
Dang.
What?
Okay. I'm sorry. He was the GM of the Saints from 2002 to 2012, and then was the executive VP of basketball ops for the Pelicans for 3 years.
Owned by the same family.
Or for
Insane
I'm sorry.
decision by the Bensons.
Hold on a second.
What?
Break this down.
I'm sorry. I'm just finding this out. Mickey Loomis.
He's literally doing the Charlie from It's Sunny in Real Time.
Mickey Loomis from 2013 through 2019 served as the executive VP of basketball ops for the Pelicans and executive VP and general manager of the Saints.
Because that when Tom Benson died and he was having to straddle both franchises? Is that accurate?
That's insane.
Because Gail Benson inherited that team from her husband, Tom.
So anyway, Rams are... Go ahead.
Mike Brown. This says Mike Brown's been with the Bengals since 1991.
Oh, God.
That's...
No. But Mike Brown's not the GM.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right.
Tobin.
Yeah,
he's
You're right.
Okay, all right. Rams.
I feed off that.
Rams are a wild card. Rams are a wild card in this draft. There's the Ty Simpson factor. They've been linked to him for a while. 13, probably too high for Ty Simpson. So could they find a way to maneuver to pick up Ty Simpson? We will see. Now, I'm going to scroll down to the miscellaneous nuggets.
Oh, these are my favorite.
He always sneaks in some stuff here. And the very last one, local. I've heard there's a chance Tennessee's Colton Hood could be the second cornerback taken behind Mansour Delane out of LSU and ahead of his teammate, Jermon McCoy. There are teams wary of the condition of McCoy's knee and could shy away. Multiple people have compared it to Will Johnson's situation last year, a first-round talent who fell to day 2 due to health concerns. He adds Johnson ended up playing well as a rookie for the Cardinals anyway, but the news yesterday about Jermon McCoy potentially needing an operation on his knee, what was it? It was to replace some cartilage, I believe.
A bone plug. Bone plug.
That could scare some teams off and could see Colton Hood move up the board.
We're going to get to a Peter Schrager mock. He dropped his final mock today as well, and he alludes to something along these lines.
That means a draft tomorrow.
We will discuss that at 11:20, I believe, where we have it scheduled in at.
Mm-hmm.
Can talk about some mock there. Talk about some trades and where players might end up at. Somebody might fall. Somebody might fall. Somebody might rise. Gonna be surprised where some guys go.
You have SEC observations?
Yes.
Next. Don't you hate it when you buy a $50 concert ticket or a ticket to a sporting event and you're comfortable with that price? It's something that you budgeted for. It's something that you can afford multiples of if you're trying to take the whole family to an event. But then you go to check out, and they've jacked up the price with unexpected fees. The same thing can happen at car dealerships. You see one price online, then you get to the dealership, and the price is way higher than you've budgeted for, or that you were under the impression that you were going to be able to finance based on the vehicle that you've picked out. You're ready to drive off the lot, and that's where the dealership gets you. That's never the case at Two Rivers Ford. At Two Rivers Ford, the price you see is the price you actually pay. Their sales staff is non-commissioned, so they don't put pressure on you. They're not trying to trick you into buying a vehicle so they can cash their check for the day. Two Rivers is a family-owned dealership that's operated with honesty and integrity for over 4 decades. They care about doing business the right way because they want you to be a repeat customer. They want to earn your trust. Local, honest, real. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
All right, the SEC in this year's draft is poised to make some history that is not in favor of the SEC because 14 out of the last 15 drafts, the SEC has either tied or led the nation in first-round NFL draft selections compared to other conferences. In 2025, the SEC produced 15 opening round draft picks, which tied the SEC's record that it set back in 2020. In 5 of the last 6 drafts, 7 of the last 9, the SEC has produced 10 or more first-round draft selections. So for this exercise, we will use Peter Schrager's final mock draft, which we'll dive into a little more in hour 2. But for this conversation's purposes, how many SEC players, guys, do you think Peter Schrager has going in the top round?
I'll say 7. I think we put it at 6.5 when we made fun of you earlier for the SEC falling off of their mighty hill. So I'll say 7.
Man, it feels like it should be more than that, but I'll say 6. Just Price is right.
7.
Way out of Robert.
7's correct.
Bang.
7 is correct.
Well done.
First SEC player off the board for Peter Schrager, Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU, going number 9 to the Cowboys, who he has trading into the top 10 with Kansas City. Do we believe that is consensus, that Mansour Delane is most likely to be the first SEC player off the board?
Who would be his competition in that?
So, I mean, the next closest player that you see from
Be like
the SEC.
Caden Proctor, potentially.
Yeah, I think it's almost a lock that Delane's the first.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of Miami players. Caden Proctor, at least, is the first SEC player to come up in Schrager's mock that we'll talk about later. 13 to the Lions. Man, it's really spread across the board this year. Monroe Freeling, it just depends on which tackle goes first. Is it Monroe Freeling or is it Caden Proctor? And I really think that just depends on the team.
100%.
Okay.
Maybe Keldrick Falk.
Delane going at 9. Okay, a little more trivia here. Can y'all tell me the last time an SEC player did not go off the board in the first 8 picks? That it took until 9 or later for somebody to go off the board?
Man, no.
I'd say the 2012 draft only because the top of that was the Luke Jokel, Eric Fisher.
I'll just take a guess and say 2005. I don't know.
No, it's sooner than you think. 2016 is the last time. 10 years ago.
C.J. Mosley at 16 in that year.
The first SEC player off the board in 16 was Leonard Floyd at 9 to the Bears.
Georgia.
Yes, and that was a kind of a weak draft for the SEC. They only had 8 first-round draft picks in 2016.
So that's got to be the least since, I think it's 2015, 2010 or tied or something like that.
And that was right smack in the middle of the SEC's dominant run. Clemson, though, was definitely in the mix during this stretch. This was Deshaun Watson. And anyway.
Cleveland Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell was a 2019 draft pick. But yes, this was Clemson kind of at the height of Dabo's powers. But the SEC was still in the middle of that dominant run. They just took a dip in 2016. So the question for 2026, where the SEC is almost certainly going to take a massive dip and maybe have half as many first-round draft picks as last year, is it going to be more like 2016, where we just see it go right back to status quo and the SEC churning out 10-plus first-round draft picks every year? Or is it going to be more of the norm here, where things are more level than they have been? I would lean towards the latter, given what has happened in college football over the last few years and the Big Ten's emergence and the leveling of the playing field that has come with name, image, and likeness. I feel like the days of the SEC churning out 15 first-round draft picks may be coming to an end here, even though it literally just happened a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that it won't ever happen again, right? That's basically what you're saying, but that it's going to be fewer and far between, where the SEC just basically has half the first round at their disposal. The talent is being dispersed across the board. We're no longer in an era of college football where Nick Saban's Alabama can hoard all of the 5-star prospects, essentially, and roll them 2-3 off the line in a situation of injury or something like that. It does feel that we are going to get, because I wonder how many of these players, these top players, may have started at SEC schools but ended up transferring out of the SEC for playing time opportunities or financial opportunities, right? Because if we wanted to do a real Charlie from Always Sunny thing, we could trace back the origins of these these players in the first round and figure out, okay, how many started at SEC programs versus how many of these guys actually finished at SEC programs, or dudes who transferred into the SEC from other places. Because that would, I think, change the math considerably.
I mean, at this point, I think it's, if we went and look, after tomorrow, if we go and look at the 32 first-round draft picks, like what percentage of them will be coming from a school where they started and ended? Probably.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to find a caveat to save your precious SEC. Oh, they started at an SEC school. That would make Russell Wilson an ACC legend. That would make who's who? Oh, we're
Fernando Mendoza, Pac-12 legend.
No, ACC.
Well, they are Cal?
Yep, ACC. ACC legend.
I was not thinking.
Tiger Woods, ACC legend.
I wasn't thinking about it like that, but now that you bring that up, Robert, it's a great point by you. So the first SEC player off the board could very well be Caleb Downs.
We gave him the out. We gave him the out.
Stop it. I got a fun fact for you. Do you know how many former SEC athletes participated in WrestleMania this past weekend?
You said Bianca Belair did not?
She did not participate. No, she had announced her pregnancy in a segment.
I don't know how many.
3. You had Lash Legend, who participated in a fatal 4-way for the tag titles. She was at Mississippi State playing women's basketball. Mm-hmm. You had Obafemi, who went to Alabama. He threw shot put there. And you had Trick Williams, who was a wide receiver at South Carolina. So 3 former SEC athletes.
Are those real names? Or are those like their wrestling
names? Those are their
names?
Wrestling names.
Okay.
Yes, Lash Legend was her given
and
name.
Trick Williams. People were born to be wrestlers.
Right.
We should have just lied to him.
Is this a pro wrestler or a draft prospect?
You're telling me Hulk Hogan was his legal name?
Terry Bollea? Bollea? I think it's Bollea. Yeah. How many ACC prospects are scheduled to go in the first round, Lucas?
Oh, I got to count that up.
Oh, yeah, it would take some time. Yeah, it would really take some
Peter
time.
Schrager's got one off the board at 2. He's got Bailey at 2 to the Jets.
Does Notre Dame count?
No. They don't get to. The ACC doesn't get to claim Notre Dame.
Look how
Only in
defensive he got.
Only in basketball.
Look how defensive he got.
No, just because.
They simply play an ACC schedule.
Oh, you're not counting? I assumed you would be counting.
I'll start counting.
All right, let's go through it. Just because I just think that the ACC is probably going to have more first round, maybe even day 2.
That's going to piss Clemson fans off even more. Like, we had how many guys in the first round?
For real.
According to Schrager, you've got Bailey at 2 out of Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is ACC?
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Dude,
it's Big 12. What is wrong
that.
with me?
Someone clip that and send that to Josh Pate.
I want
send that to Josh Pate.
On video. I want that pushed out to every
How did that happen?
part
when did this
of the college football sphere. If I did that, he would kill me.
It's true.
You would kill him.
It's true.
He would annihilate me.
Oh, my God. What am I becoming? So the first one is Maui Noah, who Schrager doesn't have going until 11. To the Dolphins, has him staying in Miami. And then he's got Reuben Bain going 12. I'm basically revealing the whole mock draft we're about to talk about here in the next segment.
We got time.
But he's got Maui Noah at 11, Bain at 12. That's 2. He's got Mesidor at 15. That would be 3.
Blake Miller got to be in there somewhere.
Blake Miller at 19.
Keep him
out
honest.
of Clemson.
Keep him honest.
TJ Parker at 25 to the Bears.
TJ Parker, Peter Woods, and so much Clemson. And then...
Dang, does he
that's 6. Oh, you're one shy.
Dang.
You're one shy, buddy.
The weak and feeble ACC putting one less prospect in the first round than the SEC.
That's not a good look. It really isn't. A conference that had Duke and Virginia playing its championship game. Man, that what a rough look for Clemson, man. It
gets worse every time you see it. It really does. Robert, what do I have to give away for the dumbest thing in sports this week?
We have tickets to see Weezer and special guests The Shins and Silver Suns pickup as they head to Bridgestone Arena Friday, October 9th for their Gathering Tour. All you got to do is call us up 615-737-1045 and tell us what the dumbest thing in sports is this week.
Next.
11:01, good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft kicks off tomorrow night in Pittsburgh with the first round, and there continues to be noise around some trade movement on the back end. More reports coming in that the Cardinals are looking to move off the number 3 overall pick, one spot in front of the Titans at 4 earlier this week. Seahawks general manager John Schneider told reporters he would like to trade back from 32 or trade up from 32 to acquire more picks. The Titans hold the number 4 overall pick Thursday. NBA playoffs tonight. The Magic looking to take a 2-0 lead over the Pistons at 6. OKC trying to do the same against Phoenix at 8:30. And in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Penguins visit the Flyers with a 2-0 series lead. The Wild host the Stars. That series tied at 1. And the Oilers looking to take a 2-0 lead over the Ducks. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is upon us, which means on a Wednesday that we have what? We have the dumbest thing in sports.
Oh, dadgummit.
This week. What did Robert just get in our ear and say? He said, I need it to be 24 hours from now. He's already checked out. He had one good hour in him today, and he's checked out on the show. You want to fix it? You want to remix the open? How are you going to pull this off? Okay.
Not proud of it. Not proud of it.
Good. Mine's Robert Walsh.
No. No.
Shame is the only tool that I have to continue to keep you focused. So if that's what I got to do, then that's what I got to do. Tell me you're checked out. You need it to be tomorrow.
I'm
and
not
then
checked
immediately
out.
Screw up the thing we do every week.
I'm not checked out. Just need it to be tomorrow. It's the only thing I'm thinking of.
I'm aware.
I'm not here physically.
Clearly. Well, I can see you physically. 615-737-1045.
One day I'm going to be so purdy and there ain't nothing you'll be able to say to me.
I'm waiting. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you give us the dumbest thing in sports this week, you win Weezer tickets on this draft week. The dumbest thing in sports this week is new Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak. So this comes to us courtesy of Nick Walters, who is a sports reporter for KTNV in Las Vegas. And he takes a couple of pictures of the Las Vegas Raiders helmets. And they notably do not have the Raiders logos on them. Nick tweets, earn the shield, it appears new Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak is having his players work to have the shield decal put on their helmets as seen at day 1 of veteran minicamp. These are grown-ass men. This is not some, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the Brian Callahan thing that he tried to pull off with the point system on how to motivate players, and then all of a sudden you got videos of them doing tug-of-war at practice, and you're like, this feels unserious. This feels like somebody who's having to manufacture the qualities of leadership and motivation that it takes to be an NFL head coach. I'm not saying that Clint Kubiak will be a bad head coach just simply because he's doing some Mickey Mouse BS, but this is Mickey Mouse BS. This is, as Coach Mack would say, this is pro football. So let's straighten up and let's not treat the 33-year-olds and the 28-year-olds who have been doing this a lot longer than you have at this point, Clint, by saying, all right, boys, you want to work a little harder today? You want to work a little harder for that shield? This is your motivation. Get the bleep out of here.
Yeah, that shield that has been one of the most dysfunctional and just losingest programs in the NFL for the last 2+ decades. You really got to earn that Raiders black and silver. That's tough. That's tough for Max Crosby, who was that close to playing for an actual contender and now has to go back to Vegas to earn the shield.
He's like, you keep your shield. I didn't want your shield to begin with.
That's my question. Does Max Crosby, after going through that whole thing in the offseason, really have to go back to Vegas and earn the shield on the helmet? Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
I can't think less of stuff like that in pro football.
My dumbest thing in sports this week is the New York Post, who has obviously been all over this Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini stuff.
No.
And it is news, absolutely.
Yes.
There is so much criticism to go around, deserved criticism. Mike Vrabel yesterday deserves a ton of criticism for the way he isn't talking about stuff, the way he is suffering professionally. Zero consequences compared to Diana Rossini, who is suffering all the consequences. It's a whole thing. But the New York Post is the dumbest thing in sports this week because this stuff can just start to get so weird. As they posted yesterday, a link and the headline, I suppose, who is Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel's wife? All about Jen Vrabel. With a link that includes an article, that includes family pictures of them and their kids.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing, man? It's fine. It's news. Focus on the news part of it. An NFL head coach and an NFL reporter and all the allegations that are out there and the evidence that there is or isn't out there. But to lock in on the family side of things is so gross and weird to me in situations like this. It just made me cringe yesterday looking at that stuff from the New York Post. Just true, like, worst of the worst. Scumbag tabloid type stuff.
We talked about this yesterday because Vrabel's impromptu, it sounds like, press conference, it wasn't announced. They just rolled him out there to give a prepared statement that he did answer a couple of questions, but didn't answer questions really about it after the fact. I told you guys that this story makes me sad because there are families involved here, understanding that the people who do have direct consequences of their actions are adults and have been, I think, whatever you think of how Vrabel's been held to account, if at all. Diana's certainly been through it. And then I saw that literally as we walked out of the studio yesterday, I see this New York Post thing about Jen and, you know, the pictures of Tyler and Carter. And it sucks because they are wonderful people. They were around here for a long time. They continue to be in Nashville and a part of the city. And so that really did make me sad for them because Jen's awesome and they don't deserve that.
Like it comes up as topics on shows, on radio shows and digital shows. Like, talk about it from a professional standpoint, but to actually use the family stuff on both sides of it as a talking point on how it'll affect the families and diving into the kids, just leave that stuff alone, man.
Especially because some of the people that are doing it, you know, they got their own stuff. So let's be a little self-aware.
It's gross
about handing down criticism of this situation from a familial perspective from on high. Okay, because there's plenty of that out there about some of these people too. Anyway, Robert.
I'm not going to be here Friday, so I'm going to combine my Friday Fire and Dumbest Thing to be what's the funnest thing in sports this week. Have you guys seen what Devin Hester is doing around the NFL draft this year?
No, I have not.
So Hines announced, I believe it was this morning, Hines is teaming up with Devin Hester to welcome the first Mr. 57 at the NFL draft, awarding the player a custom jacket, ketchup for life, and a partnership. If you're unfamiliar with the ketchup brand Heinz 57, Devin Hester, probably the most famous player drafted at 57 overall. Can you guys tell me the Titans draft pick that was selected at 57 overall?
57 overall would be the middle of the second round.
It was in 2004. You guys are not going to get it.
Okay, no. Who you got?
Antoine Odom.
Oh, no, I would not have gotten that.
Devin Hester is easily the best pick for this. I'm going to read some names off of guys who have been selected here. Chad Henne, Paul Kruger, Terrence Cody, Brock Osweiler, DJ Swearinger, Carlos Hyde.
DJ Swearinger. That dude was a menace.
Titans legend Zach Cunningham, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell. So he was far and away the best guy to be taken at 57 overall.
I thought, by a mile. I really did think Cunningham was going to be a better player, and he had a decently long career because he went to the Philadelphia after he was here for a couple of years. He had some kind of elbow injury that was going on. But yeah, okay. So that's a little bit of dumb, a little bit of Friday Fire. Well done by you. 615-737-1037 1045 is the number if you would like the opportunity to win the tickets. Robert just got in my ear and said mystery vortex. So we're not even going to screen the calls.
Well, we only have one. No one. We've been giving away these Chris Brown and Usher tickets all week, and everyone is like, "Oh, Weezer."
Nobody wants to go to Weezer.
Weezer's sick.
I agree with you. But
That's
the
one
audience
of the
does
few.
not.
Okay, well, we've had people call in for more obscure tickets than Weezer. I'm surprised by that. All right.
I think if this guy stinks, we don't give him to him, though. He has to have a good submission. He's not just going to win just because he's the only guy on hold.
I feel like there's a lot of dumb stuff out there. I'm surprised.
Let's see.
Okay, mystery vortex on line 1.
State your name.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, this is Joey.
Joey?
In Cross Plains?
No, good one. No, Joey and Franklin.
I hate this one.
Not nice.
Well, real quick, I will say this. I saw a tweet that had all of these Blue albums that were which one was the best, and Weezer's Blue album from 1994 was not on there, and I'm horrifically sad that wasn't. So there was a huge omission there. But I will say, easily the worst thing that I've seen is Ian Rappaport completely being up the booty of the Cowboys and just saying, we're so glad that the Cowboys are always so quick with getting these big deals done. Yeah. And I was, come on, dude. And thankfully, I don't know if you saw this, but he got community noted on Twitter, which thankfully everybody else came to the defense of America and said, no, that's absolutely not the case. So I love Weezer. Let the wheeze out. Hopefully nobody else calls in.
Okay, very good.
Nice.
As soon as he did, we got additional calls.
That was a good.
It was a great submission.
Yeah.
Joey is the leader in the clubhouse right now for the opportunity to win those Weezer tickets. 615-737-1045 is the number. We go to Sean next.
Mine's got to be for the idiots that keep bothering wrestlers in their hotel. It's ridiculous. They just show up at any live event and just wait at the hotels for these wrestlers to come out, and it's ridiculous.
Thank you for the call. So, Robert, what's going on with that?
Yeah, in Vegas, if you're unfamiliar with how Vegas is set up, generally when you're staying at a Vegas hotel, you have to walk through the casino to get to the actual hotel portion, where a lot of WWE wrestlers were staying this weekend. They had to do just that. And as they walked through the crowds and mounds of people, they were usually swarmed by fans who would like them to sign something, kiss their baby. CM Punk was involved in an altercation where a guy was recording him. CM Punk slapped the phone out of his hand. That guy said he's not going to sue CM Punk. But all weekend, there were a ton of wrestlers their progress to get to their hotel room was impeded by fans who would like them to sign something.
Speaking of which, and I don't want to take a nominee from anybody here as we get additional submissions. Robert, if you want to pop the last two on there, and then we'll wrap this up for the day. Did you see what happened to Derrick Henry yesterday? So,
No.
Derrick Henry was doing some kind of autograph signing appearance, and I don't know where specifically. It got sent to one of my group texts. There's an Eagles fan that's coming up to Derrick Henry at his autograph signing and placing a photo down in front of Derrick for Derrick to sign. And so the photo is of, do you remember when Cooper DeJean kind of decleated Derrick? It was unexpected. It was a big play, like got him by the legs, picked him up, and kind of dropped him in a way that you don't expect and you don't see very often. People get Derrick, especially somebody the size of Cooper DeJean, right? So this Eagles fan had a picture of Cooper DeJean essentially decleating Derrick Henry and put in front of Derrick to sign, and Derrick takes the photo and pushes it off the table. And now Derrick Henry is getting, it seems, criticized very heavily for being a poor sport. I guess in that moment, if I'm Derrick Henry, I'm doing worse to that picture than pushing it off the table. I think that's dumb.
Well, and I'm looking at the video now. He pushed it to the side and it fell off the table, but Derrick picked it up from the floor and put it back on the table to give back to the fan.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm just not going to sign it. Like, he didn't mean to like throw it off the table and you go pick it up. He literally picked it back up and gave it back to him. But just respectfully, I'm not going to sign a picture of me getting, lit up in the NFL.
Which I think that's fair. Like, you're lucky that you don't get a worse reaction from a 260-pound, 6'4" human being.
I don't know, man.
Oh, really?
You're putting yourself in a position to take other people's money to sign things, and then when someone pays money for you to sign something, you want to be butthurt about it? Just sign it. Just sign it. The guy paid money. It's not like a free thing where people go through.
I don't know how these things work.
I agree with Lucas. His intent was not to throw it off the table. But, like, if you're taking people's money to sign things and you're opening yourself up to that, just sign it. They paid their money. If you don't want to sign things that put you in a bad light, then don't go to a signing. I understand. I get it. But you're asking people to pay to see you. That's my only part in it.
Okay, and that's fair. You know, you could, if you're Derek, because I just know that that's something that Derrick Henry would not appreciate, right? And most people would not appreciate.
There's a lot of guys I think that would have a sense of humor about it and think it's funny and sign it because, you know, it's NFL, it's part of life, you're going to get lit up.
I don't think he's one of those guys.
But, yeah, I see both sides of it for sure.
Like, what I know about Derrick Henry is that, like, Derrick Henry gets self-conscious about the pictures that are taken of him, when you would not think that somebody like that is self-conscious about things like that. Or like when people get videos of him dancing at practice, like he doesn't like that. He's a very introverted human being. Yeah. Anyway, Connor in Brentwood is next.
What's up?
Nothing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Dad?
Oh, come on. Don't be that way.
You don't be that way. You did it. What do you mean?
Are you there, Connor?
Tell us to be that way. You don't be that way.
Yes. Wait, Connor, are you there?
All right.
Don't do that to him. Go ahead, Connor. Go ahead, Connor.
I'll stop. I'm just out here pressure washing a parking lot, so I figured I'd call in. But the thing that I was thinking, first of all, condolences on Mac. I know everybody loved him and knew him well. I didn't know him, obviously, but man, that's tough. It sucks to lose him. And then wanted to say I love Robert, dude. What an amazing addition to the show. I don't know how long you've been on there, Robert, but I've been listening relatively recently, I guess. So awesome guy. And then my dumbest thing in sports, I guess, was I just don't understand how NFL insiders get manipulated every year. They know it's lying season, and it's like you look at Todd McShay and all these guys, and it's like they just kind of fall for it, hook, line, and sinker every year about the lies that are coming out of the team. So I'm just confused. Like, why does that? How can that happen every year that these guys get like blindsided when the narrative's been the narrative for so long, and now it's changing?
Okay.
Just because you talk to somebody inside stuff.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, I think he's got to win it. I think he's got to win.
We got to his point finally.
He did say some nice things.
Jesus. What a wind-up.
I think a very appropriate wind-up.
So McShay, well, yes, because he was very complimentary to Mac on the front end. I don't care about the nice things that he said about Robert. McShay, on his most recent podcast, said that he got used. You don't hear that very often. Like, how often do you hear Adam Schefter come out and say, I got used? Or,
he would never admit it.
No,
it would be a scandal.
No, it would. It would be a scandal.
He got used in Sedona.
But McShay, on his most recent podcast, we have the audio, we can get to it next, said he got used to disseminate information. You very, very rarely hear that. And the only thing that I'll add to that is, because his question is, how does it happen? If you have information that you think is good and you trust the person that's giving it to you, obviously these things should be vetted. And I don't know what McShay's vetting process is or anybody's vetting process is. You're supposed to have at least minimum 2 sources before you run with the story in these situations. If you trust these people, then yeah, you put the information out there and you take a bit of a chance. And if these people lie to you, then you don't trust those people anymore. So if it happens once, it's not going to happen again, at least by this same person. But it can happen for sure. One more for Eli in Murfreesboro.
Morning, fellas.
What's up?
Hope we're having a great morning.
Oh, I interrupted it. I'm sorry.
First is all the people who think Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini actually had an affair. You know, I mean, it's just obvious. Everybody holds hands with their homies in front of beautiful, scenic views. You know, I know Robert and Lucas do it on the daily in front of the office.
Yep.
In fact, I have more damning pictures of Robert and Lucas on my phone right now from when we did a river cruise and Robert and Lucas got drunk and did the Titanic scene.
It's just hard to resist that fatty Lucas got, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Who are you telling?
I think Lucas was Big Spoon, in fact, in this situation.
Oh, no.
We've crossed
Come
the
on.
line.
Come on. Big Spoon. Goodbye, Eli.
I still think the first caller had the best submission.
No, it's for sure Joey.
I agree.
Joey brought it strong there, so we give a deserving Weezer fan the Weezer tickets, and we get to the audio of Todd McShay saying that he was used in this draft information process coming up next. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Their experts are going to solve your problems quickly, and the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time so you don't waste time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guaranteed of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So book online today at happyhiller.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. All of the Middle Tennessee locations for Hattie B's are open. Best news of the day. Day before the draft, not too late to put together your draft party. If you haven't got a spread that you liked or that you like, Hattie B's has you covered. So many great options, and you can even order it all on the Hattie B's app. Very simple. Build up your rewards that way. We're going to get to some Todd McShay audio, who was just recently on the show. I guess that was last week when Todd McShay joined us. We talked about Jeremiah Love and the conversations about team readiness. And in the week since McShay has been on the show, he's gotten into it on a couple of different fronts on social media. Did you see he's getting some criticism for putting out FanDuel ads, essentially, with changing draft odds on players? He's getting some criticism for that, especially as somebody who traffics in information as far as the FanDuel odds goes. Feels like a bit of a conflict from interest, even though we all have conflicts of interest. Hand up.
And for what it's worth, Peter Schrager, when he put his mock out that David Bailey would go 2 to the Jets, that is what initially flopped it from being Reese as the favorite at 2 to then Bailey being the favorite at 2.
And so there's the conversation with McShay on Twitter around the gambling odds. And then there's this, because a lot of people have started to get on the messaging of Arizona could take Jeremiah Love at 3 and different things that have come out here in the last couple of weeks. We talk about smoke screens and lying season, the game within the game, as Mike Borgonzi called it. Well, Todd McShay is putting his hand up on the most recent episode of the McShay Show, saying, yeah, I got by the game within the game.
Let's get this straight. I'm talking to NFL teams every day, and I'm getting information that is from an organization. We're talking about the other 31 teams, then I'm talking to a GM, and then I'm talking to an executive, and then I'm talking to a scout. And so there's just a lot of information flowing, right? And so I may have, and I probably did get used on the Jets' number 2 overall pick. I do care. I'm not going to hide from it, retreat, and I'm sure as not going to be stubborn and not come back and say, hey, 10 days ago I had the right information, and that lasted about 8 days. And for 48 hours, I think I might have been used as a friend of a former friend for a friend of this to get out there, because maybe Arvell Reese could drop some more interest in the number 2 overall pick. Who knows? And it's not even about all that matters is I get it right at the end. It doesn't really even matter then. It's a mock draft. What are we talking about? FanDuel is this wonderful sponsor of the show. I love the app. Mensch loves the app. NFL GMs check in on what are the odds and all that. And yeah, we have a sponsorship. And so one has nothing to do. There's church, there's state. Promise you, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is both players made sense. And I promise you this, the decision came down to Bailey or Reese. And I know 10 days ago they were still kind of ironing out all those things. So for 48 hours, we got misled a little bit, and we're back on it. Today.
So he's talking about the Jets.
I think that's the appropriate thing to infer. He doesn't specifically say I got used by the Jets, but that is what is being inferred there.
Bailey or Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
So how do we feel about that? Because I think that's, to the caller's point earlier, who was it that brought it up? It was Connor, our pressure. Was it Connor, pressure washing guy?
I believe so.
Who said, how does that happen? And I promise you, it happens all the time. You may not know it, because, I mean, that's a tough thing for McShay. And I'm not saying, that it's an excuse for not having the correct information, because at the end of the day, your job is to get the correct information. But if you are being accountable afterwards, be like, hey, man, I got here. Hand up. That's on me. To Robert's point, Schefter's not doing that. Rappaport's not doing that. It's not something you see very often, that level of accountability.
But I think their jobs as quote-unquote NFL insiders, I just think it's kind of a different game that they're playing than McShay, right? Todd McShay, though he is an insider and he talks to people and he has good information, is not in that sort of vein of NFL reporting, where he's turning around deals and trades. And if something is happening in the NFL, it is coming from those two guys. Not because they're sleuthing around, but because the people that want that stuff to be out there, or when it's ready to be out there, are putting it out there via those guys.
Yeah.
As opposed to McShay, who I think sleuthing makes it sound like nefarious, but
No,
I think is
doing the job.
legitimately doing that job to try and bring more information to light. So I think it hits a little bit differently when, he feels like the information he's getting is just to benefit the party that's giving him and is not actual viable information, compared to Schefter or Rappaport that, in a way, kind of acknowledge and know that that's just the game they're playing, is being quote-unquote used. And it's happening in exchange for them being the quote-unquote NFL insiders.
I mean, Rapp got used in free agency when he reported the Travis Kelce deal. That was in no way, shape, or form close to what was actually signed as a contract.
Yeah, Nick Wright went at him pretty hard.
But he didn't come back out and be like, yeah, the agent told me terms that weren't exactly factual, and I was wrong about that, and I apologize.
Well, yeah, because Rappaport's not going to take out agents.
Yeah.
That's the hand that feeds you.
Yep.
And also,
McShay, honestly, is doing a more, if you want to be pretentious about it, he's doing a more honorable form of journalism.
Yeah.
Because he's not being fed directly out of these people's hands and putting out the most favorable information.
I also want to give him the benefit of the doubt, not just because I'm a huge stan for Todd McShay, but I also don't think that he would bring information to the table that he thought came from someone that was less than reputable. Like, if he was hearing something from someone, I think it's because he trusted that source and saw some validity in what they were saying. I don't think he came out to just be, to either be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you further this narrative, and we're going to help FanDuel make some money betting on these things for 2 days. And I also don't think that he came in there thinking that the guy was full of crap. Like, I think that what he thought he had was genuine information. He wouldn't have brought it to the table otherwise, because his reputation is riding on it. His whole reputation is being the guy who's in the know, who's talking to people who are in the know, talking to general managers. Hell, he did 5 general managers interviews at the Combine. Like, I don't think that he's puffing up fake information for the sake of puffing it up, for the sake of FanDuel or what have you. I think this was a genuine mistake on his part, and I give him credit for owning it, but I would understand why people that were listening would say, oh, well, he lied, he gave us the wrong information.
Or again, who simply don't know how our business works, because you can be told something by somebody that you trust that's not true. And then you stop trusting that person, and you stop relying on that person to give you credible information. And whether that person suffers any consequence of lying to you doesn't matter. Or it could be a third-party type of situation where somebody has leaked something to someone, knowing that that person will then further leak it to a media source to try and snuff out a source of a leak within your own building. NFL teams are also playing this cat and mouse game of, all right, who's getting this information out here?
Yeah.
Because we don't want our information out here, so let's see if we can't cull the fat from the herd, or however the phrases go, trim the fat here, and find out where and who our people inside the building are actually talking to about what our plan here is.
Yes, but there also is a component of NFL teams and people in those buildings getting information out there to shape a certain narrative, whether that's to make whatever decision they're going to make better, or start a narrative against a decision another team wants to make that could favor you in the end. And year over year of doing this and hearing things like Todd McShay saying he was being used, and just the general discourse, especially when it comes to the draft, it continues to stun me just how much general managers and just people in NFL buildings and front offices, how much they care about what is being said, about the prospect that they want, about the decisions that they make, about the decisions that they're predicted to make. It truly blows my mind how much that seems to happen. How much a mock draft coming out can end up on the desk of a general manager, and maybe the player that he's favoring with the number 6 overall pick, whatever it might be, is being talked about as the 3rd best player at his respective position. And then he's going to get on the phone and he's going to start talking to people. Why do you only have this guy as the 3rd best player? Because I don't want to draft this guy at 6 and look dumb because you said he's the 3rd best player at that position. When in the end, the results just play out on the field how they play, and it doesn't really end up mattering because you're going to get judged on the results that happen with that player on the field, not on what ex-draft analysts said about them and how your pick maybe contradicts what they said about them. It matters what happens on the field. So it blows my mind how much teams continue to show that they genuinely care, and in some cases obsess about what is being said about the decisions they're making. It's crazy to me. Absolutely insane.
But why, Lucas? It's the most human thing ever.
It's human nature. I get it.
When you think about the people who are running these organizations, especially at the top, we just had a conversation the other day about something that an NFL staff was having to go above and beyond to do to make sure that their staff, their coaching staff, was prepared for a conversation with their owner because they know where the owner gets their information, and they knew that they were going to be up against it if they didn't, have answers to the questions that the owner got because he was watching a television broadcast and listens too closely to what commentators have to say. These are human beings at the end of the day that have human flaws that we all have. So there is some level of self-consciousness or insecurity because you don't know which staff is in danger of losing their job and dealing with an owner like John Mara, who's publicly stated his lack of impatience. Or here with Amy Adams Strunk and the level of feedback that she's responsible for, or that she gets and takes into account as she makes her decision. This happens everywhere. And at the end of the day, there's really not that much of a difference between the people on TV talking about these things and the people in the buildings actually making the decisions. Because if you get fired, you're the next person on TV.
I mean, how much do we see that overlap? Or you go from TV to a front office like a Mike Mayock or something.
Correct. You're looking around him, you're like, at the end of the day, we're all just educated guessing, boys.
Like, would it be insane for Louis Riddick to be a GM in the near future in the NFL?
No,
I don't think it would be that crazy. He's literally interviewing for these jobs.
He's a candidate.
Those worlds are so close together. They overlap so much. It's just insane. But with all of that said, if there is any GM or executive that strikes me as don't care, it's just about the ball, it would be Mike Borgonzi. In terms of just giving off that vibe, Mike Borgonzi definitely does that.
Jimmy Wyatt is at the draft in Pittsburgh, and he is talking to all of the people that the Titans may draft. So we will play some audio courtesy of Jimmy coming up next.
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jury's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair. Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair? The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
The draft is tomorrow. It's always a weird thing to say, but the draft is indeed tomorrow. So who will the Titans take? Jimmy Wyatt, boots on the ground reporting. He's in Pittsburgh, which I think is I think it's going to look aesthetically good on TV. As far as, have you guys, either of you been to Pittsburgh? Robert, surely.
Never. No, I want to go to a game in Pittsburgh bad.
I've never been.
It's a really cool setup. I've done 2 road games there in the last couple of years. There was that Thursday nighter with Levis, and then they played another road game at Pittsburgh later in the season. I can't recall. I think that was a Tannehill game.
Where is the draft set up for this? Is it on the river?
There was 2020. Both teams were 5-0.
No, that was here.
Oh, that was here. That's right.
No, there's been 2 games at Pittsburgh since 2020.
That's right.
That I can't remember the first one. I know the second one was the Levis game that I was at.
Robert, they are doing it around the stadium.
Yeah, it looks like the stadium's going to be the backdrop.
So the stadium, Pittsburgh's, the Pirates ballpark and the Steelers stadium are they're within a half mile of each other, maybe less. And they're on one part of the way that Pittsburgh is set up. You have all these different bridges leading into downtown. I think it was called Three Rivers Stadium for a period of time because the way that Pittsburgh is set up in between these rivers, it's gonna look really cool from especially if they do a lot of these drone shots. I'm sure it'll be well done. There's a lot of space to set up the draft venue. I haven't seen anything specifically, and I don't know if it'll break I think Detroit currently has the attendance record. They broke our record this past year. No, 2 years ago, Detroit had the attendance record. So, we'll see, but I'm sure it's going to look really well done. Either way, Jimmy Wyatt always gets a chance to talk to a bunch of draft prospects before they go through the draft process because the NFL has some kind of like 365, Play 360 event that happens the week of the draft, the day before the draft. Usually the commissioner's there. I think he talked to Cam Ward at it last year. So here's Jimmy Wyatt with, let's start Robert. Well, Robert's on the phone, so we'll get to that here in just a second. But he has 2 clips of audio here with Jeremiah Love and David Bailey. Let's start with Jim Wyatt asking Jeremiah Love about potentially being drafted by the Titans.
I had a great visit, with the Titans. Their whole coaching staff is great. Their ownership is great. And just the facility itself is getting redone, but great vibes in the facility, Got to meet Cam Ward. Cam Ward's a great guy, great quarterback. So if I was able to team up with him, it would be great. It would be something special.
How much you know about the history of the position there?
The running back position?
Right.
I know Derrick Henry was there. I know he did some great things. So I've always known the Titans to have good running backs. So if I am to get drafted there, I will continue that legacy. I have no idea where I'm going. But there's a lot of talk about me going to the Cardinals, Titans, Giants. Honestly, I'd be blessed to go anywhere, bring my talents anywhere. It'd be real special for my family. And whatever team I go to, I'm going to make them better.
Okay, so
who is that in the background?
The musical stylings. We would just sound old if we tried to guess, I bet.
I believe that was Rich Homie Quan.
Please say that a little more Caucasian.
That was wealthy friend Quan.
Rich Homie Quan from his 2013 catalog.
Somebody said, dude sounds like Dave Chappelle. All right, focus on what he said, not what he sounds like in the music in the background. That's Jim Wyatt asking Jeremiah Love about being drafted by the Titans. So he's clearly seen the stuff about the Cardinals and the Titans in the draft lead up. It's pretty impossible to ignore if you are paying attention to the draft coverage at all.
And we're not going to play all of these, but Jim has a ton of interviews with guys. I mean, Bailey, Bain, Cornell Tate, Mansour Delane. If you want to check out any of these that we're not going to play, Jay Wyatt Sports on Twitter.
The GOAT. So, do you want to play the Bailey one? Or does it also have Rich Homie Quan serenading us in the background?
No, wealthy friend Quan, I think, is off in the background of this one. We can try this out. Jim titles this one, David Bailey Talks Titans and More from Pittsburgh the day before the draft.
I don't really pay attention to the mocks, to be honest. My main mindset right now Post combine was just kind of just getting in shape, just trying to ensure that I'm working out as much as possible, getting my body right and getting my mind right. So I haven't really been listening because I think regardless of what every team picks me up, like my mindset's going to be the same, just in terms of my work ethic and just in terms of my approach to the game. So I feel like I don't want to say it doesn't matter who picks me up, but again, like there's more important things.
So, David, do you remember anything in particular about your visit to Tennessee?
Get him to me.
Again, it's super personal people. They did a great job of hosting me. I remember, each person that I met, whether the head coach or it's the GC, gave me a great advice, awesome advice that I remember right now. And I think that was the main thing that stuck out to me. They weren't too concerned about the football. I mean, obviously we watched film and everything, but they weren't overly concerned with the football aspect. They were just giving me general advice, how to carry yourself in life, how to be a man, how to be a great teammate, and stuff like that. So that's what I remember.
So that is David Bailey, the ACC legend, right, Lucas?
That's right. I can't believe I did that.
It delights me.
Like that's not even close. That's not even
SMU.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh my God.
I don't think it matters how close it is.
You old now?
How geographic.
It doesn't matter. Now, in my defense, David Bailey did start at a legacy ACC program in Stanford. He did start his career as an ACC prospect.
Does the ACC get to claim Maryland then as a once proud ACC member?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Sure. Maryland probably wishes they were still in the ACC, not the Big Ten.
Instead of getting clubbed every week.
Just getting absolutely dragged.
God, it's just sad to see because Maryland used to matter in the ACC, especially in basketball. You're just like, oof. Get out of here.
I think their basketball program's still all right.
Nah,
Isn't
not what it was. I mean, it used to be competing for national championships.
Isn't Buzz there, former
Toy Story actor,
former A&M head coach?
That sounds right.
Buzz Aldrin?
Not Buzz Aldrin. Oh my God, this is going to kill me.
Buzz Williams?
Buzz Williams, thank you.
I'd give you the real one eventually.
So.
Does that move y'all at all?
What?
The players talking about stuff and
no, it's just basically the same thing that I heard at the combine from them, right? It's one of those things where have you seen your connections to the Titans? And he says, I don't really pay much attention to mock drafts, because it's not even them seeking it out, right? It's people texting them, hey, did you see this? You may land here. And maybe that's close to family or friends that are excited for you. Like anybody that's got your number right now is probably hitting you up with where the latest mock draft or story about you or medical. These things are unavoidable if you own a cell phone. And I'm going to assume that most of these people own a cell phone. So it doesn't move me necessarily, other than to hear, how much Cam Ward is involved in 30 visits, right? That he's in the building, that Jeremiah Love met him, how much of it's not really a recruiting tool necessarily because they can't pick you. You have to pick them. But for Cam to be kind of an ambassador in the building when they make their 30 visits, that's valuable. That's at least the start of some level of connection before they actually arrive here and have to get to work together. I don't know how much further he's involved in the 30 visits. Maybe we can talk to him about that when we start to get out there for minicamp here in the next couple of weeks. And mandatory stuff, all that's happening in the next couple of months. But yeah, beyond that, I don't think there's anything super relevant other than it's a video of the player. I'm not to dismiss Jimmy talking to them because if they're available to talk, you talk to them. But it's just putting their voice on it the day before the draft as opposed to a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever the combine was. 615-737-1045. A team that has huge implications based on one player's decision in this upcoming draft. It's the hometown team, Pittsburgh, and what they're going to do at quarterback, given that Aaron Rodgers still does not have a decision about his future for them. And also, our announcement for the special guest, the special Titans guest at this year's live taping of The Install with Greg Cosell. If you haven't got your tickets before 12:20 when we announce the special guest, I recommend you do it right now because as soon as we do, these things tend to sell out, and this will be our fourth consecutive sellout on Friday, May the 1st. So we will do all of that in the final hour coming up next.
We are seconds away from 12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs 104.5 The Zone studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The NFL draft kicks off tomorrow night in Pittsburgh with the first round, and there continues to be noise around the pick in front of the Titans, the Arizona Cardinals at number 3 overall, and reports that they want to move off of that pick. Titans sitting there at number 4. Seahawks GM John Schneider told reporters this week that he would like to trade back from number 32 to acquire more picks. NBA playoff action tonight. The Magic look to take a 2-0 lead over the Pistons. That's at 6 p.m. OKC, the defending champs, trying to do the same against Phoenix at 8:30. Stanley Cup playoffs. The Penguins visit the Flyers. A 2-0 series lead for Pittsburgh. The Wild host the Stars with that series tied at 1, and the Oilers look to take a 2-0 series lead over the Ducks. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So as we talk about all the different things that can happen in the NFL draft, one team is particularly hamstrung by what they should or should not do because their starting quarterback hasn't told them whether he's going to be their starting quarterback next year or not. We are, of course, referring to Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who do take up a little bit of oxygen here on this draft week because Pittsburgh, sitting at 21, has some decisions to make. Pittsburgh did their minicamp without Aaron Rodgers. They're one of the 10 teams with a new head coach. They've got their voluntary minicamp this week, as do the Titans. They're halfway through. Today was day 2. They've got one more day tomorrow, which ironically enough is draft day. So it's Will Howard and Mason Rudolph, who are the 2 quarterbacks under contract there. Not a room that I think most people would be comfortable heading into an NFL season with. Mason Rudolph has started games in his career. Will Howard was largely unavailable for his rookie season out of Ohio State. And maybe they are more optimistic about Will Howard than anybody else realizes, and we just don't know that because we're not in camp. But fair to say that Will Howard was also drafted for a different coaching staff than Mike McCarthy, who comes in here for his first year on the job in Pittsburgh. And all the reporting is that the Steelers have received no word from Aaron Rodgers again, Lucas, on his future. And there is no expectation of a final decision prior to the NFL draft.
Omar Khan, the GM, said, quote, "We've had some great communication with Aaron and nothing's changed, but it's been all positive and good. And I said this to you guys in March when we met. He knows how we feel about him and we know how he feels about us." So rinse, repeat. They're spinning it as, well, it's just a great opportunity for Will Howard and Mason Rudolph splitting the reps.
Sure.
Fantastic for them. Everything is all well and good. How do Steeler fans feel about Aaron Rodgers at this point?
Probably not happy. Probably just go away, old man.
Yeah.
Let us just move on.
But also somewhat beholden to him because Aaron Rodgers provides the best opportunity for success in 2026.
I think if you gave them the choice of being successful in 2026 or tanking with, as tanking close to NFL tanking as you can get, which is passively tanking, not actively tanking, then they would take the passively tanking situation that would net them a better quarterback situation in 2027.
Yeah, and maybe this is overblown, but I'm guessing an Aaron Rodgers decision on 2026 wouldn't really or shouldn't have too big an impact on whether or not the Steelers, if they like Ty Simpson, were to draft Ty Simpson, right? Like if Aaron Rodgers is going to play in 2026, then that's probably his last year. So if you like Ty Simpson, you want to draft Ty Simpson, then you take Ty Simpson regardless. But it still gives you a better indication of what the sense of urgency is at the quarterback position. I don't know. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, don't you want the team that could be drafting you to be in the best position to know their needs in 2026, things that can directly help you in 2026? I don't know. It's just rinse, repeat with this guy.
What if they draft the quarterback and he's like, oh, okay, I guess you don't need me.
Right, yeah, and he acts all like upset about it.
Does the most passive-aggressive thing.
Oh, okay.
The most, he makes an appearance on McAfee and he's kind of like,
oh, I guess they thought they didn't need me.
He's not really bitching about it, but he's doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
That to me is the most likely outcome that they say, okay, well, he's 30 or he's 42 or whatever he is at this point in time. We'll take the quarterback anyway. And then he goes, no.
Peter Schrager in his mock draft has the Steelers taking Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle out of Georgia at 21. He writes, the expectation is Aaron Rodgers will be back. Pittsburgh has to make sure the protection is right with the 42-year-old quarterback. Freeling started for only a season and a half, but he's athletic, has a lot of starter-level traits. So, I mean, Ty Simpson has been talked about in conjunction with the Steelers, and maybe that would be the best situation for Ty Simpson, to be honest, to sit behind someone like Aaron Rodgers. But it just has to be frustrating to be in this spot as a Steeler fan. Like, they made the change that, the type of change that doesn't happen very often in Pittsburgh, a head coaching change. Yet it feels like they're in like the exact same spot as they were a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever point in time you want to mark of the Mike Tomlin era. Just doesn't feel like things are any different, does it, in Pittsburgh?
No, it really, other than it's a different, long tenured NFL head coach that's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just the offensive version.
It's the exact same Pittsburgh Steelers experience. Who feels more stuck in purgatory than they do right now? Because at least Indy has the idea of, all right, we just got to gut it out in 2026 while Daniel Jones gets right, and he's our quarterback moving forward. So, like, at least there's more hope than Pittsburgh, where you're just kind of looking around and being like, okay, I mean, I guess.
They haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about it that way.
How many teams have a longer drought than that?
Of winning a playoff game?
Obviously, making the postseason is one kind of a drought, but winning a playoff game.
Dolphins and Jets, right?
Dolphins for sure, Jets for sure.
Cardinals? When's the last time the Cardinals won?
Carson Palmer would have been there.
Yeah.
Kyler never won a playoff game, did he?
No.
They might have gotten in because they had that hot start a couple of years ago where they just bottomed out the second half of the season.
Raiders, I think it's been since early 2000s.
Last Cardinals playoff win was 2016.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's 10 years.
That's pre-Kyler, but yeah.
Carson Palmer and a memorable overtime catch and run by Larry Fitzgerald.
Of course. I always forget Carson Palmer played as long as he played.
He was there for a while.
Like 2016, I would have said Carson Palmer was done by then.
Yeah, What was the other submission?
03 was the Raiders' last playoff win.
Oh God. Because they weren't a 1 seed. They won their division with Carr, but Carr got hurt, and then it ended up being, who's the Michigan State quarterback? Connor Cook started a playoff game for them. So yeah, it's probably not that many teams that have a longer, which is crazy to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers because that's not the way that you think about them.
Let's see. The Bears ended their drought. They beat the Packers, correct, in the playoffs? That crazy comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Bears ended a 14-year drought this past year. But, so yeah, there are some. The Panthers have not had one since 2015. Their NFC Championship win in 2015 was their last playoff win.
Do people care, Robert, do people care at all about the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, they do. I think they do. I think when they are one of the more fair-weathered fans in the NFL, in my opinion, because like the 2016 Cam Newton run fueled a lot of fandom. But before that, it was still kind of tenuous to get people in those games. And then they have the fall off after Cam left. They lose a lot of fans, and then they get Dave Canales, and it's like, okay, we're kind of good again. We can go to these games. Like, North Carolina will support good sports teams, but as soon as they're bad, we'll just hang out at the house.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no reason for us to go to a game to watch us get our ass kicked.
Yeah.
But like the Hurricanes, if you look at their playoff games, they are slap full. Just slap. The same thing with the Hornets. If the Hornets are good, people will pack that arena. But the opportunity to do that has been far and few between.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to participate. We also have the F&M Bank chat here at your disposal. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you would like to live stream the show, there's some comments there. Daryl on YouTube says, here comes Will Levis to Pittsburgh. Sorry, Ramon. Is that a viable spot? If say in a hypothetical, let's flesh this hypothetical out earlier or further, where Jimmy Garoppolo chooses retirement over being the Rams backup. So it's Matt Stafford and Stetson Bennett there. And Aaron Rodgers chooses retirement or just whatever Aaron Rodgers wants to do. He's probably not gonna officially retire. It'll be some long drawn out thing, whatever. And they draft a quarterback, but still, it's Will Howard, it's a rookie, it's Mason Rudolph. Could you add some competition into your room there with Will Levis? I'm sure Mason Rudolph would feel certain kind of way about that. Not that there was any ill will between them, but just like, oh, okay, this guy again? Which other quarterback rooms would be in need of an option? Not even a quality backup option, but even just a flyer for a 7th-round pick. Like, how much better is Will Levis for a 7th-round pick than the options that you could spend at quarterback in this year's draft on a 7th-round pick? Or just the options generally, right? If you can get a cheap player, because he is cheap. He's on a 2nd-round contract. You don't have to – this will be Levis's 4th year already.
Yep.
4th season. So this will be a contract year for Will Levis. So it's not like it's a long-term thing for you if you wanted a 7th-round rental it. How many other teams, how many other quarterback rooms would be viable? I assume most people are going to have their stuff set after the draft, which is why it still surprises me that this would be something. Schefter said he's a name to watch during the draft. It would really surprise me if that happened, if any of these quarterbacks happened during the draft. Wouldn't you? Because teams get everything set. Then you turn around and say, well, why would I spend a 7th this year when I can give you a 7th next year? And maybe I didn't get the quarterback that I wanted. Maybe I missed out on Drew Aller or something like that as an option, as a flyer. So let me take a flyer on Will Levis for a lesser draft pick.
By the way, Ty Simpson being in attendance at the draft is interesting.
You think he has some assurances?
I mean, he must. You know, you're just setting yourself up to be that guy. You know, I mean, he'll be the only quarterback there, right? And if he's not taken in the 1st round, who's going to get more camera time than Ty Simpson as less and less players go in person to the draft? Mendoza's not going to be there.
No.
So that is an interesting decision.
I feel like a super jerk, by the way, for being any kind of upset that he's not going because he's talking about his mother's health. And the travel on her has been a lot this year.
Yeah, you should feel pretty rough about that.
Yeah, I feel like a jerk.
I saw Stu Gatz put this poll up for his show on Fox Sports Radio.
Polls.
I did them. You did polls?
I did them, yeah.
Stu Gatz put out a poll that said, do you believe Aaron Rodgers when he says when he retires, nobody's ever going to hear from him? I don't know what the results ended up saying, but I thought that was funny.
It has to be overwhelming. It has to be as close to 100% as humanly possible in favor of no.
Yeah, the quote was, when Aaron Rodgers says you'll never hear from me when I retire, do you believe him? 77.8% voted no.
That's a small. I mean, because there is the chance that he just disappears the way that he continues to say that he wants to.
Are we counting McAfee appearances and never seen from or heard from again?
God, wouldn't that be the worst if he's not even playing football and he's still a part of that show?
I'm inclined to agree with him. Like, he's got this new wife that doesn't like to be in the public eye. I think if he doesn't have to, he would probably be perfectly fine with being sequestered away with her in a darkness retreat in Sedona where they don't have to talk to anyone else. And, you know, maybe make an appearance. Oh, he shows up at this dog kennel to save some puppies or something. Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers back. Hey, appreciate it. And just bounce. I could see that.
Yeah. He's just been so... I don't know. He has just been such a dramatic part of every football offseason for the last, would you say, 5 off seasons?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
There's been some underlying Aaron Rodgers storyline about trading him in Green Bay and him not being happy about the Jordan Love thing and then getting moved.
It's exhausting.
All these different things that have permeated football discourse. It feels hard to imagine him actually just disappearing, but we'll see. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Coming up next, is there a case to be made against Jeremiah Love for the Titans in the first round of the NFL draft? And also our announcement for this year's special Titans guest host of the install with Greg Cosell and me on Friday, May the 1st, just 1 week after the NFL draft. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We're going to get to the case against Jeremiah Love. If you're the Titans at 4, you've got plenty of arguments for Jeremiah Love at the number 4 overall selection. But there's a pretty compelling argument to be made on the opposite side of that should be taken into consideration to at least show you what kind of dialogue is going on inside buildings like the Titans, like Arizona, like the New York Giants, like the Commanders, who are all considering, if presented with the opportunity, the option to take Jeremiah Love at wherever they select. But, of course, for Titans fans, they have been most invested in that. Ben Solak is the audio that we're going to get to here in just a second from ESPN, who kind of lays out a pretty concise summary of why that might not be the best decision moving forward. But first, we have to announce our special Titans guest for the install. Either of you two want to take a guess? Lucas doesn't. Lucas cares less about this than he does about the draft. He skips it every year. At some point.
Not intentional.
I don't think that's true.
It does seem to keep working out that way.
Not only do you go on vacation, you go out of the country. You get as far away from it.
Be worlds away.
As humanly possible. And guesses on who the guest for this year's live taping of the install with Greg Cosell
is. It T-Rack?
I'm not opposed to T-Rack being there. I have not had any conversations with the raccoon about making an appearance. What do you think his that would be a difficult task for the mascot to break down tape of the upcoming Titans 2026 draft class, given that they have a code of silence.
Is it Greg Cosell?
Greg Cosell will be there. In fact, he is flying in from NFL Films headquarters just outside of Philadelphia. And we have all manner of tape breakdowns prepared for
so it is Greg Cosell.
The audience. Greg will be here, but there will be an additional guest host. We've had an additional guest host every year for the last couple of years. Robert?
Big Willie style Will Smith.
I thought you were going to say Big Junk from yesterday with that great call that we had. No, I put this out to a poll on Twitter. I got Cam Ward. Stillman tweeted and asked me if Diana was going to be the special guest at the install this year. No? Yeah. He's one of those people that just can't get enough of this. He's been really digging in. I guess he's got nothing better to do at this point in time.
Way to go, neck bubble.
Yeah, neck bubble. It's not very kind.
Is it Rand Carthon?
It's not.
Ooh, that would be fun to run back. Or ran back.
We could. I mean,
Rand would be good. I mean,
should I still ask Rand if he wants? I mean, he's already made enough jokes about me getting him fired a couple of times this year on Combine Radio Row. We could theoretically have Rand get back involved with the install if he was looking for some opportunities. No, it is in fact. Do you have crappy production? Drum roll, please. Anything back there as we do things with the highest level of production? Titans GM Mike Borgonzi is this year's special guest for the install with Greg Cosell. It is indeed the person who selected Cam Ward, the person whose responsibility is getting this franchise out of the depths of despair and drafting the 2026 Titans class. And all the different transactions that they've made, Mike Borgonzi is this year's special guest.
Is it Jim Wyatt?
Ooh, Jim would be good.
I'd love Jimmy to come to the event. Teron Davenport usually shows up.
Oh, is it Teron?
Ooh, Teron. I love Teron.
So Teron's the special guest.
Or as Kirby calls him, Terran.
It's Kirby.
Is it Kirby?
Shut up.
Oh no, Kirby calling Teron Davenport Terran. It's one of the highlights of the combine this year.
You know, I've always loved you, Terran.
Teron literally turned around and looked at me and said, I spent days with him last year.
I think we laughed about that for like 3 days.
I mean, it's the most Kirby Allen Kirby thing of all time. But yeah.
Is it Oh, I'm going to get it.
You're unmoved by the person who's shaping the future of this franchise being this year's guest host, are you?
Oh, is it Borgonzi?
It's Borgonzi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's Mike Borgonzi.
Unfortunately, you will not be there to critique his Italian whimsies.
I know. Do I have to change the spread in the green room beforehand to accommodate the ethnical preferences?
Better have some antipasti ready.
Okay, some prosciutto.
No, don't do that. He hates that. That's not a real Italian.
Say the damn vowel.
Mortadelle.
What is that?
That's a New Jersey Italian. That's what you're going to be doing this weekend.
Yeah, but what about you don't like it when other fake Italians do it, but then real Brazilians tiki-talkie. It's okay if they do that, but if fake Italians in New Jersey...
Well, that's funny. It's endearing.
Oh, okay, Luki Panziki.
So, yeah, we're really appreciative of Mike Borgonzi spending some time because, again, it's a week after the draft that this goes down. Tickets are available at 1045thezone.com. And do remember that when we have special guests at the install, if you donate to our charity that we're raising funds for as a result of the live show, which is always the wonderful, incredible people at Home Street Home who help rehabilitate the unhoused community, and give back to the community, especially in times of such financial strain as we are going through as a country right now, and people have never been more at need. Stephen Young, his wife Andy, they do awesome work. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with the Home Street Home cause. If you've been a longtime Zone listener, he's known Brent Doherty for a long time. I know Stephen because of Brent and the work that Stephen was helping us do in my neighborhood during the tornado in 2020 before I was even an employee here at the station. So we're really grateful for Mike joining us to give you guys a unique experience. Again, there is not another NFL market that does this. I've checked so that I can continue to say that. We are the envy of NFL markets everywhere. This is an only Titans fan thing that you guys get to be a part of and help us raise money for a great cause.
If you told me that Eric DeCosta was going down to Jimmy's Seafood in Baltimore to break down the class that he just drafted, I would have a flight today picked out. If you're a Titans fan, this is one of my favorite events we put on all year. Not just because of the excellent analysis that Greg does, that Mike Borgonzi is going to provide. Buck is also there. It's just fun to hang out.
I'm willing to get off the stage and just let the two of them have smart football conversations without me.
I think we would all prefer that.
Yeah, I know.
But just getting over that, usually Ron Slay comes. Usually a lot of people from the station come. And it's just fun to be in a room of like-minded individuals who care about the draft fully and be immersed in that. And you get to get a little liquored up, get a little good and soused, as my grandpa would say, have a couple drams, and then just listen to people that are much smarter than you or I talk about football. And then Buck is also there.
And you promise that you will not put a chef's hat under this man's chair this year?
No, I won't.
You will not wear a bald cap? You will not. Weren't you going to try and cross-dress to ask Callahan a question last year?
Wasn't going to try to. I was backstage dressed like a woman, and my segment got cut, and then I just have to walk back up the steps dressed like a woman, pour myself a lukewarm glass of Tito's, and drown my sorrows. So, yes, I bought a wig. Great. I bought a dress. I brought...
He was in the hallway.
I'm actually really upset I missed that.
No, you didn't miss anything because no one saw it.
Nobody.
No, but the walk of shame back to the green room is what I like. All the tape talk, be damned. I wish I had seen. That's what I have FOMO about.
I was so nervous.
The only person who saw it was poor Dwight Spradlin, who is a member of Titans PR, who was there to make sure that Brian Callahan got where he was supposed to be and got out of there. And
he was not a fan of me.
In a time, would you be if you met you for the first time and you were drunk and dressed as a woman?
I think I told him.
Threatening to ask his coach draft questions.
Oh, I'm so sad I didn't see that.
Dude, I was like, Dwight, you do such a good job, dude. If I was you, I would just be lying. I would be lying all the time for Callahan. And you're a good guy, Dwight. Just give him a nice little kiss on the cheek. He was not happy.
Oh, I wish I had seen that.
So, yeah, if you want to be in the house with Titans GM Mike Borgonzi, with Greg Cosell, with a drunk, potentially cross-dressing Robert, Slay does the introductions. Blaine is usually there. We'll see if we have a number of, I'm sure a lot of people from the station are going to be there. We usually have a lot of people come out and support it because it's a great cause more than anything. And also it's just a great chance to hang out with the audience. We don't do it very often in those kind of settings. And so and we are very much looking forward to hanging out with you 1 week removed from the draft.
Oh, is it Brett Kern?
Ooh.
I should see if Brett wants to go.
Oh, what about Ben? Can we invite Ben?
I can invite Ben if you would like.
What about Nate? Can we get Nate there?
Nate Washington?
Yes. Or Nate Tice. I'd love Nate Tice there as well. His father, Mike.
Nate would.
Former Vikings head coach.
Yes, I'm aware. If you want me to see if Nate Washington will fly in from Atlanta.
Oh, that would be great. He can stay with me. Okay. Guest room will be open.
I'm sure that's high on his priority list. So we look forward to all of you guys being there and enjoy a great night and something that's only available to Titans fans, for Titans fans around the NFL draft. Now, the case against Jeremiah Love. Will the Titans draft Jeremiah Love? We won't know until tomorrow. That's the round one intrigue, especially starting with this latest, what do you call it? Latest round of draft reporting or rumors or smoke screens or just flat out lies, however you choose to see them, around the Arizona Cardinals potentially being interested in Jeremiah Love at the number 3 pick. Of course, the Titans pick 4. So Ben Solak of ESPN, who's been on this show and obviously makes multiple appearances on NFL Live, on SportsCenter and the like, was doing. I saw this video. Where is he sitting? He looks like he's sitting in like his backyard garden or something like that, giving a diatribe on the value of running backs and the positional needs of these two teams. Where is this video being shot?
He's got a nice little homemade greenhouse where you've got the garden bed, but then also the clear tarp over it to kind of create the greenhouse effect. I'm in love with this. I did not know he was a gardener. Also, I found out after the combine that he is a huge Pokemon aficionado, and I would have hijacked our conversation to quickly go through first round prospects and tell me what Pokemon they are.
So this has been Solak on the heels of all the Arizona Love reporting, talking about Jeremiah Love going in either of the 3 or 4 spots.
NFL draft, it sounds increasingly likely that Jeremiah Love is going to be a top 4 pick, right? We've heard tons of smoke about him at 4 to the Titans, and recently there's been reporting about him even at 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. Anytime a running back is going to go that early in the draft, we have to have a conversation about positional value. The top edge rushers, wide receivers, and offensive tackles all make 3 times, 4 times as much money as the top running backs do on the open market. And so, in a league in which there is a rookie wage scale, we know what the 3rd and the 4th overall pick are going to make. It is not advantageous to take a running back that early. Say the Cardinals pick Jeremiah Love at 3. He'd immediately become the 7th highest paid running back in football. If they took a wide receiver, he'd be 30th. If they took an edge, he'd be 32nd. It's certainly true that Love's an excellent prospect, and it's reasonable to argue that he's safer than some of these other premium positions. But we know that running backs impact less of the running game than the offensive line does. So you're not even auto-printing that impactful running game that Love might imply. And certainly a receiver doesn't do that for the passing game, nor an edge rusher for the pass rush. But if you hit on those players, then you're getting above market talent, right? Above average to great to maybe even elite play at far below market rates. Whereas if you do hit on Love and the offensive line comes together such that you have a good running game, you're still paying market rate for it. Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals or to the Titans is far from a terrible pick, but it is from a long-term team building perspective, not the optimal play.
So that's Ben Solak explaining why he doesn't think it's in any team's best interest, but specifically those teams picking at the top, to spend a pick on that player specifically. What do we think?
It's such an interesting conundrum to say this guy very well could be the best football player in this draft, but there are reasons beyond that. I heard Daniel Jeremiah actually, he put this so well. I just had ESPN on in the background yesterday getting some work done, and Dan Orlovsky is asking him about this conundrum. If he is the best football player, why is there such debate about the value of his position? And the way Jeremiah put it in so many words was, look, if we were playing backyard football, then Jeremiah Love would be your number 1 pick. But we're not playing backyard football. This is a league with contracts, and the business side of it has to be thought about in terms of what you're getting in exchange for what you are paying for, essentially. And the draft is an opportunity to get crazy high value for low end, in NFL terms, compensation, so to speak. It's just such an interesting conundrum that we're in. But honestly, the way Solak puts that, it's hard to argue with. It's hard to argue with his logic there.
Especially Arizona, right? And I'm not saying that you don't draft Jeremiah Love because Tyler Algiers and whatever's left of James Conner are still on your roster. Because James Conner's coming off not his best season. He's been a good player, but we know that the shelf life at that position is not for long. You would have, and I believe Peter Schrager had this number, you would have essentially $25 million committed to your running back room alone if you were Arizona by taking Jeremiah Love at 3.
And Schrager does have Love going to Arizona at 3 in his last pre-draft mock draft.
Ooh, we didn't get to the Schrager mock yet.
Yeah, he's got Love going 3. He's got Sonny Styles to the Titans at 4, where he writes, it would be hard for the Titans to not take Reese if he's still available, considering their need at edge rusher. I add parenthetically, he has David Bailey going 2, Arvell Reese going 5 to the Giants. But he writes, it would also be hard for Robert Saleh to leave Styles on the board. He is seen as a near guarantee with exciting traits. And remember, Saleh loved having Fred Warner in his defense in San Francisco. Tennessee wants franchise cornerstones, and Styles can be just that.
So, the financial considerations are not quite the same for Tennessee as they are for Arizona, though they still do factor in. I think Arizona and Tennessee are kind of in the same spot about, do you really need a running back? And the answer is probably no, but he's going to make you better, and you're going to have a positional, you're going to have a rep split no matter what. Tony Pollard, the people that are talking about immediately getting rid of Tony Pollard as soon as you draft Jeremiah Love, if you were to draft Jeremiah Love, to me are insane. Don't make your roster worse. You need 2 of them. There's nothing to say that Love would be healthy for the entire season. And then you're talking about leaning on, and God love him, Tajay Spears, but Tajay's body has not been reliable. I think Tajay Spears is a reliable football player. His availability, though, has been sporadic at best. So I don't think that you would cut or trade, unless you got just a crazy offer for Tony Pollard. I don't think you would trade Tony Pollard in that circumstance. And there's a lot of people who think that's an obvious move. I think that's nuts. It gets a little more open-ended. So, and I get the pushback because I saw one of these people in the chat saying, for all of the people who say a running back at 3 or 4 or whatever value that you put it at is too high, when then is the appropriate time to take a running back? Is it after pick 5? Does it depend on the draft, like this year's draft, where you're still talking about potentially the best player available? Like, what are there set in stone rules that you have to abide by if you're going to play the positional value game by the letter of the law? I think it should be more open-ended than that.
I think it's a case-by-case basis,
Sure.
A draft-by-draft basis. I think the perfect time to take one of those running backs is when the negative caveats don't affect your team. When you have cap space, when you're not worried about a wage scale, when you have an offensive line that's ready to carry him, I think that's when it would be the optimal time to take a running back. But Ben also doesn't say that it would be a bad pick. He doesn't say that. He said it would still be a good pick, just not from a team-building standpoint. He's not saying that Love to the Titans would be a bad thing. I think I saw someone in there complaining about it, saying it was boring. Dare on the Burrow. None of that makes any sense. Everyone keeps saying to build around him and make him better, but they are worried about an O-line for a running back and not for a quarterback. The line blocks for both of them. That's not what he was saying. He was just saying the return on investment is much lower on taking a running back there if you are not ready to house him. That's all he was saying. I think people are taking this as an indictment against Love or the Titans or taking it personally when that's not the case. It's a gray matter. It is not black and white. It is not, oh, this is a good pick or this is a bad pick. There are positive and negatives for any outcome that they could take, for any player they could take. It just so happens that the negatives for Love are easily definable.
It's best summed up by a line that McShay gave us when he was on the radio show last week, and you guys may remember this, but he was summarizing a point about Love with us by saying, are we doing the right thing for the organization in drafting Jeremiah Love, even though it feels like the right thing for our young quarterback? Because while you can say, well, the right thing for the young quarterback is inherently the right thing for the organization, you are setting out with the objective of building the best team and putting that quarterback in the best possible position to succeed. And these are all considerations that have to be taken into account if you're talking about sustainably good rather than just flash in a pan good and we can get a few more explosive plays last year or this year than we had last year.
And Jeremiah Love could end up being a Hall of Famer.
Yes, he could.
Like, he absolutely could. And it could have us in 8 years looking back and saying, man, they could have had Jeremiah Love. But also, what are the odds of that happening? Right?
Or that he plays his entire career with the Titans. He may play here for 5 years and then go to a great career with the Chargers and then go in the Hall of Fame. Would it still be a good pick at 4 if he only stays here 5 years? Like, I mean, those are the things you have to look at. I mean, again, it's not a black or white matter. Daryl came back. Everything about Love is saying that he would make Cam better. Well, damn, if we need another offensive lineman, then why don't we draft a lineman? Because it's a gray situation.
Yeah.
If you draft a lineman at 4, you're passing up on players who are more highly rated on your board and drafting off need, which we've talked about is a bad thing. You don't want to go into draft strictly drafting off need. You want to take the best player available. Then we are just outlining the positives and negatives of taking any player at 4. That's all we're doing.
And again, it's one pick out of how many that you have. That one pick is not going to define, I mean, it can, but it's not going to define whether or not this thing ultimately ends up being successful, even if it gives you the immediate dopamine hit of, oh my God, we got a star offensive player now. There's nothing to guarantee that he will be a star offensive player unless you execute the rest of the draft around him as correctly. 615-737-1045 is the number. Scott is in Nashville. Hey, Scott.
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
I have some tie-ins with Notre Dame, and I'd like to talk about Jeremiah Love. First off, the character. He is one of the finest people you'll meet. Very intense and very driven. I don't think that any of the teams should pass on him. I think he's the best guy in the draft, and I'm going to draw a comparison here. I think you've got a mix between Derrick Henry and Chris Johnson. He's got the power of Derrick Henry. If you go back and watch the video of when he had a hurt knee against Penn State, his run down there on the end zone, if you watch videos of him stiff-arming people, he chucked a guy in the Indiana game in the playoff, was incredible. And then he has the speed of Chris Johnson.
Appreciate the call, Scott. We do limit it to 60 seconds. You can't hear the Oscars music, but the audience can. So, yeah, no, nobody's discrediting the person or the player. Yeah. We can wrap up the show, update some polls. Coming up.
We have a Nate Ament update to get to.
Next. It's not the end of your week. What are you playing UGK here for? Oh, no.
Shirt's off.
His shirt is, oh, God, that's a lot of flesh. What a treat for the people watching on Zone TV. Robert Walsh is leaving the show forever. No, I could only get so lucky. He's going to New Jersey for a all weekend long draft bonanza. My God, I'm watching what they're seeing on the YouTube stream. This should come with a not safe for work label. You have breasts. That is a whole show and a half.
Looking good, buddy. Robert
Bert
is not leaving.
Wow.
He's not leaving us. He's just leaving for the next 2 days.
I'm leaving.
You know who else is not leaving? Maybe. Nate Ament.
Maybe.
You called me fools, all of you.
I still think you're a fool.
I don't think I called you a fool.
You did not. When I dared suggest that, hey, maybe he could come back. Maybe he could try to inflate that draft stock. You said, stop this. You tried it last year with Cooper Flagg. Nate Ament's not going to the NBA draft.
Buddy, you had an assistant coach from Rick Barnes on a local Knoxville station saying, no, he should go.
Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports has put out an NBA mock draft where he has Nate Ament going 18 to the Charlotte Hornets via Orlando. And he writes, Tennessee fans are waiting for Ament to choose whether to return to college or head to the NBA. League front office executives tell me that his agency, Lift Sports Management, is split on the decision because they believe that Ament could be the number 1 pick in 2027. If he falls outside of the lottery, he would be playing for less money this year and potentially hurting his future earnings. For financial reasons, it may make sense to return, and more importantly, for his own development, to get one more year to improve physically and progress his skills. He does say if he stays in the draft, he could very well end up in the lottery, but there is a strong possibility that he slips.
Are you going to feel gaslit if he just ends up going to the draft? Because, I mean, there's been reasonable amounts of discussion about this where he's at least thinking about it. So if he's thinking about it, it's not unfair for the fan base to be thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to feel gaslit because if he decides to go, that will just be the decision he made, right? I don't think he's trying to fool anybody here. Now, the NBA draft deadline is April 24th. The draft lottery is May 10th. So we're coming up on all the important dates here for Nate Ament.
Let's do some polls. Yeah.
Do it, Lucas. Do the Chewy. Do the Chewy, Lucas. Dang. Wow. Scrap that
Pretty
rubbish.
Good.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What was your reaction to Todd McShay saying he was, quote, used to disseminate information? John says, surprised it's taking him this long to realize that this is something that happens in his line of work.
Yeah, I don't think it's his first time realizing it. I think he's just brave enough to admit when he gets got.
What's more likely, Aaron Rodgers retires or Aaron Rodgers goes back to Pittsburgh? 81% say back to Pittsburgh.
81%. Okay. People just all right, he's going to do it at some point. Let's just get it over with and come what may.
What is the dumbest thing in sports this week? TK says WrestleMania Night 1. Robert agrees. Robbie on Twitter says NBA, just overall, the NBA. Not sure what the NBA did.
I mean, LeBron
this
was
past week.
Awesome last night.
Victor Wembanyama, concussion in the second quarter.
Yeah.
See how long that keeps him out.
Coming off a crazy performance of his own.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you saw Adam Silver was on, I think with the Part of My Take guys.
No.
Or was it a different interview?
I know. I didn't see it.
He said Memphis ain't going anywhere, basically. And he also said Memphis should play a few games in Nashville to be Tennessee's team.
I don't disagree with that. Bridgestone Arena, if they can make the schedule work, that'd be ideal.
And it's factually true. Memphis isn't going anywhere. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, could be on the move.
Yeah, I phrased that poorly, right? Memphis isn't going anywhere.
Memphis isn't going anywhere. Nothing's going to change about Memphis. We know this. The Grizzlies, though, they could definitely be going to Nashville.
That would be funny if that was his defense if they moved the Grizzlies. Be like, I mean, I said the city wasn't going anywhere. What do you mean?
Those are the polls.
Very good. That's the show. Robert is off. Robert is on his way to scenic New Jersey. Okay, we understand. You're excited about the draft. Lucas, say one more nice thing about the draft before Robert leaves.
I love it.
See you tomorrow.